Well, they are a global intelligence investigation and research firm specializing in corporate risk management and legal action support. Here to tell us more is Kathy Geider, Vice President of Operations with Veracity IIR. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, first of all.
Thank you.
Yes, I know we've talked about this once before, but I'm going to start with just allowing you to break this down for us, because I know it's complex, right? It's a lot in one, but tell us who you guys are and what you do.
We are a private investigation company and security consulting firm.
Okay.
We work for corporations, school districts, small businesses, and attorneys.
And I think it's really interesting to really, I guess, connect with the people at home, because that's what we want to do. This can seem a little daunting, complex, but break it down for us for the people at home, how they could benefit or what they need to know.
I think what people at home could benefit from is, if you're in a legal action, you can ask your attorney, have you hired a private investigator? Is there anything a private investigator could do for us, you know, in this legal matter that would benefit our side of the action?
Yeah, tell me some examples, if you would, things that you guys have worked with in the past or currently that people might be able to relate to or benefit from.
If somebody has been in some kind of a financial fraud, a lot of times, you know, law firms will hire us to do the financial analysis, and we'll take, you know, months, years of business records, and we'll go through those. And our certified fraud examiner, our CPAs can look at that, and they can say, hey, we see, you know, this time frame of when the fraud began. And that gives us then a time frame to go back and maybe start interviewing people associated with the company at that particular time.
So really able to comb through and dissect those specific details then perhaps. What qualifications with your team, somebody who works there, somebody who does what you do, tell me a little bit about that background.
Our team is made up of primarily retired FBI agents or other federal agencies. We have a retired postal inspector. We have a retired police chief, retired Indianapolis Police Department. Our folks have 20+ years usually of knowledge, skills, and abilities in the law enforcement world, in doing interviews, in conducting in-depth investigations. So we have experience with these folks. You know, they bring all that experience that they had on their job with us, with them to us.
I would imagine, and the gentleman who was here last time, we touched on this just a bit, but as satisfying that might be for the potential client, I guess you could say, and seeing what needs to be done or seeing that that success that you guys have, I would imagine that that's the same for you as well, being able to essentially to help people, right?
Right. So one of our financial analysts recently did a case with a major law firm in Indianapolis, went through financial records for several years and did very detailed analysis, things I have no idea about, but she did an awesome job. And they sent us the most glowing report, because their client, a company in downtown Indianapolis, was able to mediate and settle at a much lower financial figure than would have been if they went into it blindly.
Wow.
And so we were able to help them. And that's what makes us feel good, is when our clients come back and say, yes, we won in court, we did this. And then you just know, like, all that time and effort was worth it.
Well, and all of that knowledge and experience from your team, everybody coming from different backgrounds essentially, but all coming together, that's a very interesting perspective too, because what this person doesn't have, this person does, in order to solve your client's problem.
Exactly. And you know, we have the female side of it as well as the males, and I think sometimes being a female, our interview style and approach is a little different than some of the, you know, the guys on our staff.
Sure.
And you know, having that postal inspector brings a wealth of information. We have a gentleman from the UK who was with the National Crime Agency there. He brings a wealth of international experience to us.
This is so interesting for sure. If people want to learn more or just to find out if you could potentially help them, what's the best way to do that?
Go to VeracityIIR.com and check us out. We're on there, all our staff is on there with our backgrounds, and you can get a great sense of who we are. And ask, like I said, ask your attorney and say, hey, look, you know, I saw these folks. I think they might be able to help us.
Oh, I love that. Ask those questions. You never know where it could lead, for sure. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. As always, we'll put all the details on how you can contact them on IndyStyle.tv.